Oh, no. Ooh, okay. I definitely know that that was the perfect sound for this take, for this sound, whatever. The voice is just so cool. Imagine being able to actually have the voice. Imagine you're like actually at home and the voice, and you could use the voice and just, dishes! Give me the controller! Wipe my ass! I don't know if anybody would want to do that. All right, welcome back. Josh here. Let's talk Dune Part II. If you're watching this and you haven't seen the first one, go away. Like it's weird. So Part 2 takes place immediately after Part 1. We got Paul Atreides, Paul, with this basic ass name. Paul. Come on, Paul. Josh. Josh is a basic name. Anyway, Paul Atreides is with Chani and the Fremen, and is starting to learn their ways. He's able to, ride worms. It's cool, it just sounds weird. Gets blue eyes by drinking the water of fate or water of death or whatever the fuck. And then is able to further his dreams by being able to foresee the future. So by using all three of those,
by your powers combined, I am Captain Planet!
He's able to be part of the Fremen, and he's plotting a revenge for his father by destroying, how do you say their names? Bad guys in Dune. The House Harkonnen. That's the Stellan, Skarsgard, Austin Butler, Drax the Destroyer, and the ones that have the creepy bald head, no eyebrows, beautiful faces. Like, what Austin Butler did. Wow, he did a really great job of doing a Stellan Skarsgard impression. Lives in the same world of it being like uncle to nephew. But then if you think about it, why didn't Dave Bautista have the same accent if they're brothers? Needless to say, while he did a great impression, we're probably going to be hearing the fact that he just can't get out of that voice. Anyway, Paul. Denis Villeneuve is probably one of the best filmmakers of our time outside of Christopher Nolan. His filmmaking is extremely deliberate, intentional, laser pointed. He doesn't like dialogue that much, so he wants to be able to show things a lot more visual, which makes sense. I mean, when you're watching this movie, while it is a long movie, it takes its pacing seriously, it takes the character seriously, but the thing is that Denis still knows the audience. He knows that they want to be entertained, and the action, CGI, how the film is put together, same way that Nolan does. Their artistic They are artistic directors that live in a blockbuster world. It sounds like
I'm a director girl in a blockbuster world. Life's fantastic.
We'll see how that one works out. Also, it's telling us a complicated story in a very simple way. Not to say that it's dumbing down for dummies. If you look at this book, it is f***ing huge.
Damn huge.
I've never read any of them, but I've seen them on people's desks keeping the weight down, use it as a form of working out. There's so much information, I bet, within that I imagine Denis somehow was able to use that to give us the story in a visual manner without so much dialogue to explain everything for us that didn't read the book, not gonna read the book. Another great part about this movie is the soundtrack and sound mixing. The soundtrack itself from Part 1 over to Part 2 still has incredible vocals, incredible bass, and very appropriate for those scenes and appropriate for transitions and the action and everything. But there's something about it similar to kind of like Man of Steel, where if you didn't have that soundtrack, it would make the movie less than. The beat of the drums to the yelling of that strange lady yell that happens every time that there's a reveal. The characters shine more than the actors. It's kind of like what Tarantino was saying about Marvel characters, right? You're there to watch the character, not the actor. Most of the time, whenever we're actually going to see movies, we're seeing it for that actor, right? If it's the Tom Cruise movie, it's a Tom Cruise movie. It's hard to put my finger on it. Because I think I could probably say the length, but then, the more that I think about it, it's an appropriate amount of time to give us so much story within Part 1 to Part 2, with the scale and the blockbuster part of it and the action itself. Those simplicities need to be appropriately spaced for a movie. I guess the dislike would be my brain thinking that every time that, Christopher Walken was on screen, I'm just thinking,
More cowbell!
he's the only person as characters shine over actors that I couldn't see outside of it just being Christopher Walken.
Wow.
That's my problem. What I dislike is me. This is what I'm realizing. To wrap it all around, just go see it. I found it to be a beautiful movie. Probably on the same line as Dune Part 1. It still felt like it was not just a sequel, but as those parts appropriately. The filmmaking, the pacing, the soundtrack, and obviously the characters. Well, what did you think? Was it good? Did you like it? Was there anything in there that you thought could have been better? Maybe it comes from true fans rather than people that just love watching movies. That's it. Goodbye! Here I go again on my own, going down the only road I've ever known. Like a drifter I was born to walk alone, but I made up my mind. I ain't wasting no more time. Here I go again. Here we go. Ha 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 ha.